Hello, my dear students of 4th primary. Now, if I ask you to write a comparison sentence about going to school by bicycle we're going to school on foot. لو سألتك مين أسرع إن أنت تروح السكول بالبايسكل بتاعتك ولا تروحها on your foot. One of you may write going to school by bicycle will take less time than going to school on foot. Why? Because the bicycle is faster than walking. طبعا البايسكل faster than walking. If I say, for example, that the bicycle is almost 6 times faster than someone walking, لو الفاستر أسرع ب 6 times من الwalking بتاعي. Will you be able to express that sentence using mathematical language? I mean by using letters and numbers. This is what we will learn in Unit 5, Lesson 2, Creating Multiplicative Comparison Equations. In this lesson, we will learn هنتعلم how to create equations، ازاي نعمل equations to represent multiplicative comparison problems. We will also use letters، كمان هنستخدم letters في equations to represent an unknown value. In Unit 5, Lesson 1, we learned how to compare numbers using multiplication. For example, when we say 6 times 3, 6 is 3 times 2. مش احنا عارفين ان 6 is 3 times 2. And show this وعملنا ده using a tape diagram. Can you remember? Or multiplication facts, which help us greatly to define the relationship عشان نقدر نحدد the relationship between numbers and compare them. In today's lesson, we will continue هنكمل بقى comparing numbers and we will learn وهنتعلم how to create multiplicative comparison equations. We use letters، هنستخدم النهارده letters to represent the unknown values in equations. Now, let's start together with Access Comparing Transportation Speeds in your school book on page 199. Let's see it all together. Here in the access part, as you see, this is the access part. Here we have 6 sentences. عندنا 6 sentences like you see comparing the speed of different types of transportation. بعمل ايه؟ بقارن ما بين السرعة بتاعة different transportations. Now let's read them all together. تعالوا نقراهم مع بعض. Here you are asked to circle the phrases. هنعمل circle على phrases أو words that show multiplicative comparisons. I will give you time to answer and when we get back you can review the answers. And now number 1, the first sentence is, it's telling me a sailboat travels about 2 times faster than a person walking. Of course, the phrase that expresses ايه الفريز اللي بتدل على الcomparison. Yes, 2 times. Do you know the number we multiply by when we say the word 2 times? يعني لما أقول 2 times بعمل multiplication by what? Yes, I am sure all of you know that it means multiplying by 2, of course. So, I will circle 2 times and this is the phrase. Let's move to the second one. Here the second sentence. The second sentence tells me that a bicycle travels 3 to 4 times. Bicycle travels 3 to 4 times faster than a sailboat. أنا بقارن دلوقتي ما بين البايسكل والsailboat. So, the phrase that expresses a comparison here is what? Yes, which phrase should I circle? 3 to 4 times. 3 to 4 times. Circle it. Okay, let's move to sentence number 3. Here, he tells me a cruise ship travels about the same speed as a fast bicycle. أنا بقارن دلوقتي ما بين الكروز والcruise ship والbicycle. And about 8 times the speed of a person walking. So, the phrase that expresses the comparison here is what? Yes, the same speed as. نفس السرعة بتاعتها. The same speed as. Right? طيب أنا عندي واحدة كمان اللي هي إيه؟ Yes, 8 times. So, circle 8 times. And now, let's move to sentence number 4. The fourth phrase is, tell me, a car travels about 20 times faster than a person walking. بعمل comparison ما بين الكار والperson walking and more than twice as fast as a cruise ship. طيب ايه الفريزز الاكسبرس comparison here؟ هعمل سيركل على ايه؟ yes 20 times. وعندي حاجة كمان، عندي فريز كمان اللي هي ايه؟ yes and twice. هي دي الفريزز اللي هعمل عليها سيركل. So circle these two phrases. تعالوا بقى move to the next one. The fifth sentence بتقول لي ايه؟ بتقول لي the high speed trains، اهو الترين اللي بتكلم عنه. The high speed trains move 8 times faster than a cruise ship. Okay? And over 30 times as fast as a sailboat. يبقى أنا بعمل comparison ما بين حاجتين. So, which phrase should I circle؟ هعمل circle على إيه؟ Yes، هعمل circle على 8 times. وهعمل على إيه كمان؟ Yes، هعمل على 30 times. These are the two phrases I should circle them. تعالوا نشوف بقى آخر sentence عندي. The sixth and the last sentence I have بتقول لي إيه؟ بتقول لي passenger airplanes, this is the airplanes, travel nearly 200 times faster than a person walking. بقارن ما بين airplanes والperson walking. But more than twice as fast as a high speed train. بعمل comparison ما بين حاجتين. يبقى ايه الفريزز اللي انا هعمل عليها circle؟ yes، اول حاجه هعمل عليها circle 200 times. وايه كمان؟ yes, look here I have twice, so circle the twice. Okay, all these are situations. كل الحاجات اللي احنا عملنا عليها circle أو underline this are situations where we have used استخدمنا فيها multiplicative comparison. مقارنة ما بين two things. And if you think of situations you have faced daily، لو في كل يوم هنلاقي situations بنتعرض لها daily هنقدر نستخدم فيها the multiplicative comparison. For example, one of you may say، ممكن حد يقول لي that I went out to buy oranges. ممكن حد يقول لي that he went to buy oranges yesterday. اشترى oranges yesterday. In one market was selling them for 2 times as much as another market. مش ساعات بنروح نشتري حاجة من سوبر ماركت for example 10 pounds ونروح سوبر ماركت تاني نلاقيها ب 20 pounds. That's what I mean. ممكن سوبر ماركت يبيع نفس الحاجة ب twice the price. At the start of the lesson, I told you that we would learn to express situations, like the situations in the last activity, using different methods. هنستخدم طرق مختلفة. The other method we will use is mathematical language. هنستخدم بقى mathematical language. Let's watch the video that will help us understand more about using of letters and numbers.
I hadn't realized how many cars the parking lot holds.
It holds a lot.
The cars are mainly red, blue, or white.
How many white cars are there?
There are 8.
And how many red cars?
I can see 9.
Let's look at different ways of expressing a number. How many different ways can you make 8 by adding or multiplying two numbers together? Think in whole numbers, as we are using cars. Let's look in the parking lot again.
I can make addition sentences. 6 plus 2 equals 8. 5 plus 3 equals 8. 2 groups of 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. 4 groups of 2. 2 times 4 equals 8.
Here are 8 cars. I'm going to write this and explain. What do you think is going on?
That can't be right. There's no other numbers or symbols.
What does that letter mean?
I think I understand it. W means 1 white car. It also means 1. 8W means 8 white cars, which equals 8 cars.
That's right. What about this? 4W equals 8. What do you think is going on here?
4W equals 8. 4 white cars don't make 8.
What is represented is a mathematical operation, like 4 plus W equals 8.
What if W stands for a number and we multiply it by 4?
A letter represents a number. When letters and numbers are written like this, with no spaces between them, we multiply the number 4 and the letter W, which stands for white. So together, that makes 8.
Could W be 2?
Yes, that's it. 4 lots of W equals 8. 4 times 2 equals 8.
I'm going to use my number facts and patterns to help me. If you use the inverse, you can work out W. 8 divided by 4 is 2. W must be 2.
What a fantastic explanation! The students today worked with 8 cars to find lots of different ways to express 8. They used a letter in place of a number to stand for an unknown quantity or amount. We call this a variable. Can you use a variable or letter to represent some unknown quantities in a few of your equations?
And now after we have finished watching the video, to refer to the number of white cars, عشان أقول أو refer للwhite cars, the teacher used what? Yes, استخدمت الفريز اللي هي 8W equals 8. 8W equals 8. أو 8W equals 8. Okay? And this is an equation. 8W equals 8 دي تعتبر equation. And it is a statement that we use to represent the relationships. بستخدمها عشان أعرف relationship between the numbers. In equations, بنستخدم دايما في equations letters. Like what? Like A, B, D, K, W. مش بستخدم letter معين. بستخدم any letter. There are many other letters that represent the missing numbers. أي missing number في equations ممكن represent it by a letter. We learned this in primary 3. Since our lesson is about multiplicative comparison, our focus هنركز بقى على equations we will be on using multiplicative relationships to compare numbers. We will learn that in build, multiplying to show comparisons in page 200 in your school book. Let's see it all together. Here in the build part, page 200, we are asked to write equations. مطلوب مني أكتب equations that express comparison. But we are not asked, مش مطلوب مني أبداً إن أنا أحلهم. Okay? مش مطلوب مني إن أنا to find the unknown number. مطلوب مني بس أكتب equation. So let's start with the first equation. طيب, here in the first equation, he tells me 4 times greater than 3. 4 times greater than 3. So, from the example we have seen in Access, we know that the word times يعني إيه? Indicates the use of multiplication. يعني لازم هستخدم multiplication. Let's use the letter A to represent the missing number. تعالوا نشوف letter A to represent the missing number. So, we will write the equation as follows. هكتب الequation إزاي؟ Yes, هو بيقول لي 4 times greater than 3. That means إن 3 times 4 gives me what? Yes. تعالوا نشوف كده الإيكويشن بتاعتي 3 times 4 gives me what? What ده اللي هو الأنون بتاعي هعمله letter A. This is the unknown number اللي أنا عايزة أجيبه. Letter A represent the missing number اللي أنا عايزة أجيبه. So we know from multiplication facts that 3 times 4 equals what? Yes, 3 times 4 equals 12, and that means in A equals to 12. Okay? Now, let's move to question number 2. Question number 2. Here, 18 is 6 times as many as what? Again, 18 is 6 times as many as what? طيب يعني إيه؟ Yes, أكني بيقول لي بالظبط 18 equals 6 times what? 18 equals 6 times what? So, the equation is 18 equals 6 times what? طيب, missing number, I can write it in letter. ممكن أكتبه إيه? Yes, I can represent the missing number with, for example, letter B. طيب, and now we can write the equation as follows. As you see, 18 equals 6 times B. I am sure you have noticed the difference between the two equations. طبعا انتوا شايفين الفرق ما بين التو equations. That in the first one, the product is the missing اللي أنا كنت عايزاه هو البرودكت في first one. And the second one إيه اللي كنت عايزاه؟ Yes, factor أو letter B اللي أنا كنت عايزة أعرفه, and this is the unknown number. It is one of the multiplication factors. مش هما دول two factors. One of the multiplication factors was missing here والproduct was missing here. So in the same way you can write the equations in your books in problems 3, 4 and 5 and use letters to represent. دايما ال unknown number بعمل له letter معين، انتوا بتختاروا any letter. I will give you time to write them and we will complete the activity when you are back. Now, since you are done with writing the equations, بعد ما خلصتوا بقى equations that express the statements, let's review them together. In problem number 3, as you see here, problem number 3 بتقول لي إيه؟ Yes, بتقول لي 2 times greater than 7. 2 times greater than 7. So, how can I write the equation? 2 times greater than 7 أكنه بيقول لي بالظبط 2 times 7 equals what? 2 times 7 equals what? طيب ال unknown هعمل له ايه؟ Yes, you can write letter C as the unknown number. اوكي؟ طب ممكن اكتبها بطريقة تانية، ممكن حد فيكم يكتبها بطريقة تانية، ممكن حد يقول لي أنا كتبتها 7 times 2 equals the unknown number. It will be right. اوكي؟ يبقى it won't matter in multiplication and of course you can use any letter to represent the unknown quantity. لا يستخدم أي letter here, it will be right. Well, multiplication, if I change the places of the number, it will give me the same answer. Okay, now also it doesn't matter where you place the equal symbol. طيب يعني أنا لو عملت C equals 7 times 2 في حاجة هتفرق؟ No, it will be the same answer and the same equation. Let's move now to problem number 4. Problem number 4 here. He told me that 24 is 4 times as great as what? 24 4 times as great as what? طيب how can I write the equation? Yes, أكنه بيقول لي بالظبط 24 equals 4 times what? تعالوا نكتبها كده مع بعض. 24 equals 4 times what? هنكتب ال unknown number as a letter. For example A. Okay? طيب we will do the same in problem number 5. بيقول لي 25 is 5 times as many as what? Again, 25 is 5 times as many as what? أكنه بيقول لي بالظبط 25 equals 5 times what? ال unknown number ممكن نكتبه any letter like what? Like for example letter Z. And now since we have written the last equations and unknown in each equation, let's see how we can create multiplication equations for story problems and write the unknown in each problem. We will solve together the problem in your school book on page 200 under creating equations for multiplicative comparisons. As before, it is not important to answer the problems. مش مطلوب مني خالص ان انا احل البروبلم بتاعتي او اجيب الانسر بتاعي. Because our goal الهدف بتاعي ان احنا how to write the equations correctly. اهم حاجة عندي ان انا اكتب الكوركشن correct. equations correctly. In each problem, let's focus on 3 main points. كل problem هركز على 3 حاجات مهمين جدا. أول حاجة هركز عليها what is the information given؟ إيه الانفورميشن اللي عندي اللي هو مديها لي أصلاً؟ تاني حاجة هركز عليها what is the unknown value؟ إيه unknown value الحاجة اللي أنا عايزة أجيبها؟ تالت حاجة هركز عليها how can we write the equations that represent multiplicative comparisons؟ And let's move to problem number 1 and solve it. Here's problem number 1. بتقول لي إيه؟ بتقول لي نادية collected 5 marbles in March. Okay؟ يبقى جمعت 5 marbles in March. By May she had 4 times as many marbles. How many marbles؟ السؤال بقى how many marbles does Nadia have in May؟ دلوقتي عندها قد ايه marbles في May؟ طيب أول حاجة قلت هعملها إن أنا هشوف الانفورميشن اللي هو مديها لي. إيه الانفورميشن اللي عندي؟ يس أول حاجة عارفاها إن نادية collected 5 marbles في مارش. جمعت 5 marbles في مارش. وكمان في ماي بقى عندها 4 times as many as marbles. دي الحاجات اللي عندي. طيب تاني حاجة بركز عليها ايه؟ بشوف الانون اللي هو ايه؟ اللي انا عايزة اجيبه. النمبر of marbles in May هو ده اللي انا عايزة اجيبه. يبقى we can use the letter B to represent it. ممكن الانون number ده هستخدم letter B عشان اعرف. We can write the equation that represent the problem as follows. هعمل ايه؟ Yes, هعمل 4 times 5 equals what؟ يبقى مش هو قال لي 4 times as many marbles؟ ده معناه ان 4 times 5 equals what؟ ده مش احنا قلنا الانون هكتبه letter B؟ يبقى 4 times 5 equals B and this is the unknown number. طيب let's move to problem number 2. problem number 2 بتقول لي حامد had 12 cookies. حامد معاه 12 cookies which was 3 times as many cookies as his brother. قد بتوع البراذر بتوعه 3 times 3 مرات. طيب السؤال بيقول لي ايه؟ How many cookies did أحمد have؟ عايز يعرف his brother أحمد معاه كام cookies. طيب يبقى I must write the equation right؟ طيب دلوقتي هو بيقول لي 3 times as many cookies as his brother. أول حاجة عايزة أشوف الانفورميشن اللي عندي اللي هي إيه؟ إن حامد معاه 12 cookies وhis brother ال 12 cookies دول 3 times as many cookies as his brother. دي الحاجات اللي أنا عارفاها. طيب ال unknown value الحاجة اللي أنا مش عارفاها أو عايزة أجيبها number of cookies that حامد's brother has. We can use the letter Z to represent the number. خلاص هستخدم Z to find the unknown number. يبقى الإيكويشن هكتبها إزاي؟ Yes هكتب Z times Z دي اللي هي unknown times 3 equals 12. ده معناه إن ال 12 cookies بتوع حامد equals 3 times what؟ Now you can do the same to problem number 3. Okay. And now it's your turn to apply everything we have learned in the activity exit ticket under Connect in your page 100, in your book 121. As you see here, this is the Connect part. Here I will give you some time to read the problem there and write the equation that expresses it. Keep in your mind that we don't need to answer the problem. مش لازم أبداً نحل البروبلم بتاعتنا or find the unknown value. أهم حاجة بس نكتب الإيكويشن correct. After we have written the equation in your school book, let's review the answer all together. In the problem we have, I want you to imagine a car that is 3 times faster than a bicycle. الكار أسرع 3 times than a bicycle. It takes Salma 24 minutes, like you see here. Car 3 times faster than a bicycle. Salma take 24 minutes to get to school by bicycle. Let's write multiplicative or multiplication equation that shows how long it would take Salma to get to school by car. هتاخد وقت قد ايه عشان توصل بالكار؟ طيب ايه الحاجة النون هير؟ ايه الحاجة اللي انا عارفاها؟ أول حاجة عارفاها إن الكار is 3 times faster than a bicycle, right؟ دي الحاجة النون بالنسبة لي. وكمان سلمى takes 24 minutes to get to school on it. طب ايه الحاجة الأنون اللي أنا عايزة أجيبها؟ Yes, how long it takes to get to school by car. هي دي الحاجة اللي أنا عايزة أجيبها. How long to get to school by car دي الحاجة الأنون بالنسبة لي. So we represent it by P. خلاص؟ Now we can write the equation. هكتب الإيكويشن بقى إزاي؟ Yes. هقول 24 equals 3 times what? 24 equals 3 times what? الأنون هكتبه letter P. And this is the unknown number. As we have checked our understanding of equations and how to write them, let's now answer the problem on page 202. Let's see it. Here's page 202. We have 5 sentences and we asked to write equations. مطلوب مني إن أنا أكتب equations that expresses these sentences. تعالوا نشوف كده في problem number 1. We are asked to write equation that expresses in number 7 times as many as 4 is what? تاني بيقول لي 7 times as many as 4 is what؟ أكنه بيقول لي بالظبط 7 times 4 equals what؟ طب ال unknown number ده أنا هكتبه أكنه A. اوكي؟ يبقى equation بتاعتي 7 times 4 equals A. Let's move back to problem number 2. Problem number 2 we are asked to write equation. برضو مطلوب مني أكتب ال equation that expresses that 48 is 6 times a missing number. طب السؤال بيقول لي إيه؟ بيقول لي 6 times greater than what is 48. هكتب ال equation بتاعتي إزاي؟ بالظبط أكنه بيقول لي 48 equals 6 times what؟ طب ال missing number I will write it as letter B. Okay? Now we have the same in problem number 3. تعالوا نشوف بقى problem number 3. Problem number 3 is telling me 27 is 9 times what? 27 is 9 times what? طيب يبقى هكتب ال equation ازاي؟ The same. هقول 27 equals 9 times what? طيب ال missing number I will write it as letter D. Okay? Let's move to problem number 4. Problem number 4 we are comparing بقارن the numbers of times Aya and Minna ran around the saucer field. Minna ran around the saucer field 4 times. Minna ran 4 times. Aya ran around the field twice as many times. Aya ran twice as many times. Okay? So, السؤال بيقول لي إيه؟ How many times did Aya run around the field؟ طيب تعالوا نكتب الإيكويشن بتاعتنا. أكنه بيقول لي إيه بالظبط؟ Yes, أكنه بيقول لي 4 times 2 equals what؟ الإيكويشن بتاعتي 4 times 2 equals what؟ طب أنا هقول ال unknown number it's letter M. يبقى this is my equation 4 times 2 equals M. Now, in problem number 5, Rana has 6 mangoes. بتقول لي رنا معاها 6 mangoes. Her brother شريف معاه 18 mangoes. طب السؤال إيه؟ How many times more mangoes does شريف have؟ شريف عنده أكتر من رنا بقد إيه؟ طيب هو رنا معاها 6 وشريف معاه 18. أكنه بالظبط بيقول لي إيه؟ أكنه بيقول لي ال 18 بتوع شريف equals 6 times what؟ 6 times what؟ طب ال unknown number ده أنا هكتبه as letter R. مش احنا قلنا ال unknown number ممكن نكتبه أي letter؟ So my equation is 18 equals 6 times R. And now as you can see, we have learned and practiced many problems on multiplicative comparison. We have written these comparisons in the form of equations and used letters واستخدمنا letters to represent the unknown quantities in each equation. اللتر دايما بيعبر عن ال unknown number. If you want to answer more problems, you can scan the code on the screen. It will direct you to more problems to practice writing equations that have a missing number. And now, thank you so much for your watching and see you next lesson.